What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. I was going to make a video where we pick a random job off like Indeed.com or Stack Overflow or something like that. And then someone messaged me on Discord and they are asking me to look at this one job, and he's like, I'm a fresh bootcamp graduate, how can I apply to it? And I started looking at it and it started asking for 5 to 10 years experience. And then I started reading the job requirements, and it wanted you to do everything. It wanted you to be a project manager, a product manager, a scrum master, a UI UX designer. They can't be a specialist in all of those, and that's kind of what this job was wanting. And so basically I was just like, what if I make a video, instead of a video talking about like breaking down the requirements, let's look at one of these kind of has like crazy requirements. You can actually get these jobs, because the job that I first got, my mechanical engineering job, said 7 to 8 experience, and I landed that job. I mean, I had to do a lot more interviews. I had to do like 8 interviews, but they were like, actually, yeah, this guy, he looks like he has potential, and then they went for it. And so it could be easy to get scared away from these jobs, but I feel like if you just position yourself to have that extra added value, because I think once they realize what they're asking for is a little bit insane, they'd probably be willing to work with you. Maybe making a video series like job postings that were obviously written by HR people or something like that. Like, React hasn't been out for 8 years. This doesn't make any sense at all. So that's what this video is going to be about. Again, I try to go over like how I would approach this, because I've applied to a whole bunch of corporate jobs and usually I get responses for them, but I prefer to work at smaller companies that have more flexibility and the freedom to do more things. But I try to break it down and give you some hints and tips that you could use. You go on their LinkedIn, change your cover letter, resume, all that stuff, so that you could apply to these sorts of jobs. And then maybe I'll make more as we find more job postings that are just like, who wrote this, Anyways, guys, if you're having trouble with a resume and cover letter, you can check out mine. Mine got me an interview at Google, so if you've ever wanted some help with them, you can check out mine. They support the channel. They're on my website, okay? All right, so let's jump into this real quick. King Techno hits me up with the Discord message. He says, can you please look at this job and see what I can do to apply for it? So let's go ahead and take a look at that job. So it's Minneapolis, Minnesota, the company. Want a casual work environment filled with energy, creativity, and a fast pace. All right, so I noticed one thing here in the description. We are looking for someone who is not afraid to jump into the deep end. All right, this is like the perfect sentence to put on your resume. Put like, I work best when I'm a little fish in a big pond, right? Talk about learning, push learning, push learning. It's all about learning to learn. You got a lot of value. You can learn anything they want you to do, and you can do it quick. So let's take a look here. Responsibilities, what we'll be doing. Engage with business stakeholders and executive management. 5 to 10 years experience in web development. All right, what's the salary for this? Okay, SharePoint developer, $40 an hour. It's roughly $80,000 a year. But for 5 to 10 years experience, you could probably get $80,000 a year within like 3 years. 5 to 10 years experience for $40 an hour. Director of product management. Okay, that's director. There's usually only one slot, and that slot's filled, and he's hiring the slots below him, making $40 an hour. What I'm saying here is 5 to 10 years experience. You can just safely ignore that. HR wrote that because they're like, most likely someone said, I really need someone who knows what they're doing, and then they're like, all right, well, 5 to 10 years. You're not going to find someone willing to work for $40 an hour that has 5 to 10 years experience. So this is where I would jump in there and I'd be like, yo, I'm willing to, don't say like, don't be like, yo, I'm willing to work this job for cheaper than you want. But like, basically you could be like, hello, I know it says 5 to 10 years experience, but after looking at your average salaries, I'm willing to take, maybe we could work something out, or figure out a way to phrase it so that you'd be like, I'm willing to take less money if you'll let me work, because I just want to get my foot in the door. Hands-on experience with the following: MVC, API, REST SOAP. Okay, that's all. This is all just Ajax and connecting to APIs. SQL. So you're probably going to need to know some joins. Go check out my other video, 3 Backend Technologies. If you want to learn this, you can go to SQL Bolt, learn how to do SQL, MySQL, stored procedures, setting up schemas. That's really important. This kind of reminds me of my last job. Worked in an Agile Scrum environment, DevOps capabilities. So basically, this job wants like everything. This job wants you to have 10 years experience, and they want you to literally be able to do every single thing: project management, software development, QA. Like, they just want an everything. But it just says developer, web. Comfortable contributing to group discussions. I don't know why this is a thing. This should just be comfortable with communicating. There should be no big deal here. I can tell that the person who's hiring this position doesn't. They were like, all right, someone give me a list of all the things that we use at the job. And then the other guy, he comes in and he's like, all right, we got C#.NET, MySQL, Vue, jQuery, JavaScript, and they just started listing off every single thing. What are you going to be doing? Communicate and collaborate consistently and effect. Why can't we just call this work with teammates? Write well-designed, testable, efficient code by using best development software practice. I can just tell this was written by HR. Create, maintain, expand, stay plugged into emerging. Okay, so they want you to stay up to date with everything. You can do that. Talk about maybe in your cover letter how you're reading Hacker Noon, you're staying up to date, you follow a couple different people, maybe they should check out this technology. So what I would do is I would go to their LinkedIn and then look to see maybe what they're using Vue for, and then go to Vue and see if Vue came out with anything new, and then maybe put that in your cover letter, but like, hey, I noticed you guys are using Vue probably for this purpose, and Vue just recently came out with this thing, right? So figure out a way to put these into your cover letter so that they know that you actually read this post and didn't just scroll down to the bottom and then just click like apply. Create and maintain software documentation. This is pretty normal. A great way to show that you've created and maintained software documentation is if you have a GitHub wiki. So I would learn how to make a GitHub wiki page. Cooperate with web designers to match visual design intent. Okay, so they want you to be able to do DevOps, back-end, front-end, cooperate with web designers to match visual design intent. I don't think most people with 5 to 10 years experience will have all of this. It doesn't sound like they're going to be working on a team if you want someone to be able to do everything. I'm not quite sure what they want. Leadership team. So they have investors, they might be a startup. Careers, corporate citizenship, corporate governance. So what I would do, I would start looking through all of this and I'd figure out who the CTO is or who looks like they'd be the CTO. Corporate officers, executive leadership team. It's like the same team, it's just a few people got eliminated. No, you're not good enough to be on the corporate officers, but you can be on the leadership team. Reasons to invest in us. Okay, so they're looking for capital. I keep that in mind when you apply to this job. 207 reviews, 313 salaries. Salary satisfaction, 58%. Ooh, that's not good. Oof. Retain talented and qualified colleagues. All right. Just be careful when you see we look to attract and develop and retain talented. Okay, so hard work beats talent. I would want to attract, retain, and develop hardworking, qualified, high work ethic, linchpins. Not necessarily talented, right? Because hard work beats talent. The more I read about it, the more I realize this is going to be kind of a corporate job. If you don't hear anything back, it's not because of you, it's probably just because it's a corporate company. So what I would do maybe if you wanted to get the upper hand, the upper value on this job would be come here to the leadership team, find these people on LinkedIn, go see who these people are connected with on LinkedIn, maybe message those people or other people that are working there and be like, hey, I was curious about this position, I noticed it said X amount of experience, I'd like to apply. Don't be like, I don't have whatever, just be like, I'd like to apply. They want everything. So you got to figure out how to put your cover letter that you can do almost everything there, because if you put too much of everything, they're going to think that you're lying and that you're bullshitting them. But if you put that you match most of it, I've actually applied to jobs like this before. It was actually my first mechanical engineering job, 7 to 8 years experience required, and I had to do like 8 interviews. But they were like, yeah, actually, we do have an opening for this guy right now. He seems pretty dedicated, and I really like his attitude. So they placed me, and I got the job. Doing some research and modifying your cover letter will help you in that respect. Be sure to check out my website. If you're interested, you need help with a cover letter, resume, I have mine. You can go check those out. They're on my website, and they help support the channel. And now I'm doing this full time. So anything else? I'd like to say thank you to the patrons we have. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Maybe consider supporting me if you don't need a resume. But anyways, if you like this video, hit that little subscribe button. Join the Discord. Engage me. Let me know what you guys think about these ridiculous jobs with 5 to 10 years experience that require basically every single niche inside of the industry. I think this one's a little out there, but I think it's doable. After reading about it and looking at their job site and everything, this job was clearly written by their HR person, because this is almost an impossible job. I mean, this job wants everything, but I still think it's doable. Anyways, if you guys liked it, hit that like, and I'll see you in the next one. We could toss on this. What am I talking about? So you could go to their LinkedIn and my first mechanical engineering job, and